1.21 pair counts. This is the last problem in our chapter 11. If you want the other ones, they're in the playlist below the like button. But this one is asking us to write a method called pairCounts, and it's going to accept a list of type string, call it list1, and it's representing individual words and counts the number of occurrences of all 2-character sequences of letters in these words. So we're given an example here and what it would return. Let's do this then. So if you want more of an explanation, read this example, pause the video, and then come back so we can do it together. So we're going to want to return a map, right? Because the key is going to be this string and the value is going to be the number of occurrences of it. So let's put inside of here a map. We'll have a string and then a integer as our type. Now let's code for this. So we want this as our storage. So let's make that in here, call it map1, and we'll set it equal to a new, we'll do a hash map and end this. Pretty clever way of getting that done. Now we want a for each loop. We want a for each loop so that we can run through our entire list. So for string A, because we're dealing with strings in our list, we want it to run through our list1, and then inside of here, all we want to do is check if our list is greater than 1, because if you read this, it says note that I is only 1 character long, so it contains no pairs, so we are not doing anything with it. So if our current string dot length is greater than 1, we can safely be inside of here. Otherwise, we'll just go on to the next string. So in this for loop, we want to examine this word, right? We want to examine 2 characters at the same time. And I know the best way to do this. So the best way to do this, and the way that we will not get an array, or not an array, but a out of bounds error, is by starting at this index and then looking at the previous index as well. What do I mean by that? Let's go on. So int b is equal to 1. We're starting it at the first index, not the 0th index. We want to run it as long as b is less than our current string dot length, and we'll do b++. So that's pretty much it. Inside of here, we want our current value that we're looking at. So let's do that. It's going to be string, and we're going to call it current. We'll set it equal to a, and now this is the important part. We're dealing with characters right here, individual characters, and we want it to be type string. So we have to use the class character and the method inside of the class dot toString. We're going to convert our a dot char at. Now we want the 0th index before the first index, right? So all we need to do is pretty simple, is just do a b minus 1. And then we're going to append to this all of this except the next character, which is going to be just b, not b minus 1. So we can get rid of this, and we can add a semicolon here. That'll be pretty much it for that line. Now, we need to do a check. We need to say, if our map already contains this, we're going to increment this. Otherwise, we're going to put it in there. So if map1 dot contains our key, because the key is going to be that character, or the string that was characters, we're going to pass in current. Then we'll have a map1 dot put, where we're simply just going to get our key, which should be the current value, and then we are also going to get the value at this key. So we're going to do map1 dot get our current value so that we can increment this by 1. We should be good to close that off, so that's pretty good. End this line. Otherwise, we're just going to do a map1 dot put, where we put in our current value and we just set it to 1. And that's pretty much going to call it. So we can close off this for loop, close off this for loop, or that if statement, close off this for loop, and then just return our map1 and close off this entire function. So if you have any questions, you want more help, leave them in the comments or look in the description, and that's going to be it for our exercise 11.21 pair counts in our entire chapter 11.